In today's lesson, I'm going to introduce you to fractions. So what is a fraction? Fractions are all around us and we use them all the time, probably without even thinking about it. A fraction represents a part of a whole. For instance, here is a whole pizza. The pizza represents one whole, and every time that we eat a slice of pizza, we are actually using fractions. I bet you never thought of that. So depending on how many slices our pizza is cut up into, our fraction can change. Again, as I said, no matter how many pieces the pizza is cut into, the entire pizza represents one whole. It represents a whole number. We have one whole pizza. All right, so the pizza in this case, this particular pizza, is divided into 6 equal pieces. All right, so we count the pieces and we can see that there are 6 of them. So we could say that we have one whole pizza, or we could say we have 6/6 of a pizza. All right, so this right here, this 6/6, this is what we want to look a little more closely at. This top number, it shows how many slices we actually have, and that number can change. This bottom number, as we said, it can also change because it represents, this number shows how many slices the pizza was originally cut into. And they are always equal pieces. That's important. So if you decided to eat one slice of pizza, you are actually eating 1/6 of the pizza. Well, how do you write 1/6 as a fraction? Well, it's actually pretty simple. It's 1/6. And here's why. This 1, remember, this represents how many you have, or in this case, how many slices you are eating, and you ate 1. And this bottom number represents how many pieces the pizza was cut into. And we counted them up and we found it was 6. So 1 piece, for eating 1 slice, it's 1/6. And that's the fraction that represents that. So how many slices of the pizza were not eaten? Well, how many do we have left over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, this top number represents, in this case, the number of slices not eaten. So how many do we have that are not eaten? And again, the bottom number represents the total number of slices that the pizza was cut into. Now the top number in a fraction, it has a special name. You know, mathematicians, their special names. It is called the numerator. And the numerator represents how many parts we have. And again, that number can change depending on the question and the situation. The bottom number of the fraction is called the denominator. And the denominator is the number of equal parts that the whole is divided into. So in the example of the pizza, we had one whole pizza that we divided into 6 equal parts. So this fraction represents 4 is the number of parts we have, depends on the situation, and 5 is the number of equal pieces that the whole was divided into. All right, so express the yellow pieces as a fraction. So here we have this circle, and we need to know how many pieces it is divided into. Now remember, the denominator is the bottom number, which represents the number of equal parts the whole is divided into. So we count 1, 2, 3. So our denominator is going to be 3. Then if we come back to the original question, it says, express the yellow pieces as a fraction. So we need to know how many yellow pieces we have, and that gives us the numerator, which is the top of the fraction. Because remember, the numerator represents the number of pieces that we actually have, so the part of the whole. So in this case, we have 2 yellow pieces, so that means that the numerator is going to be 2. So the yellow pieces expressed as a fraction is 2/3, or 2/3. So we can say the yellow pieces represent 2/3 of the whole. Now express the purple pieces as a fraction. So the first thing, of course, we want to do is we need to know the number of pieces that the whole is divided into in order to find the denominator. And remember, the denominator is the bottom number. So if we count up all these pieces, we can see that this circle, the whole, has been divided into 8 equal pieces. So our denominator is going to be 8. And again, we come back to the question, and it says to represent or express the purple pieces as a fraction. So we need to count the number of purple pieces in order to find our numerator. And again, remember the numerator is the number on top. So we count these pieces of purple pieces and we see we have 5 purple pieces. So our numerator is 5. So we can say that the purple pieces represent 5/8 of the whole. And that is your introduction to fractions.